Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make this gorgeous top with a V-neck in front and also a zipper. If this sounds like something you're interested in, keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe. With that being said, let's get right into the tutorial. To begin the tutorial, I will draft out all patterns on paper. This is because this is going to have a princess cut dart. The first thing I will do is to draw half an inch away from this region, which is going to serve as my starting line on shoulder line. Then from this point right here, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches all the way through. This 1.5 inch is for my zipper allowance. Having connected these points together, this is what I have. Now the next thing I had to do is to take your chest line measurement, breast length, under bust, waist, hip and also full length of this blouse. Once you have marked out these points, connect together with a straight rule like this. Now guys, I'm going to be adding extra paper at the bottom because I want the full length of my blouse to be 28 inches and what I have here is not enough. Right for my waistline, I'm going to come down by my hip length measurement, that is at 8 inches. I'm just going to measure up this line, and so right now I have my hip length and also my full length. Now guys, I'm going to work on the shoulder line and chest line to create my armhole, just the way we normally do it. Now that we have our armhole ready, let's work on the neck area. So I'm going to be taking a neck width of 3 inches and also a neck depth of 3 inches. I'm going to connect these points together using my curve rule and then connect a slant line all the way to the 1 inch that we came down by for the shoulder slope. From the breast length line, I'm going to be taking half of my nipple to nipple measurement, and that for me is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to mark this at the under bust, waist, hip and also full length. Once I've marked this, I'm going to connect them together using my straight rule like this. I'll place my ruler at these points to meet the middle of my armhole like this, and I'm going to connect a straight line all the way from the breast length to this point. After doing this, the next thing you want to do is to come down by half an inch from the breast length line, and so I'll mark it. And then at the under bust, I'm going to be marking half an inch towards the side facing me. Towards the other side, at the under bust and waist, I'm going to be coming in by 1.5 inches. Then at the hip line, coming in by 1 inch, and then for the full length, I came in by 0.75 inches. And I will just go ahead to just connect these points together as seen. With this done, the next thing I will do is to use the curve part of my rule and then just connect these points like this, the half inch that we came down by the breast length, and then connect the other side to like this. I'll then measure in between what I have here at this point, that is at the under bust or waistline, and then I'm going to subtract half an inch from that and then mark it right here underneath this line. So for me it is 1.5 inches, and I'm going to connect it. Can you see I'm using my curve rule, this slant, and then make sure that your line extends out of the armhole. Then these little points right here, I'll connect together with a straight line just like this and also blend it. Placing my measuring tape from this point, I'm going to make an extension of 1 inch. That is from my armhole curve. I'll make an extension of 1 inch like this. At the chest line, I'll also add 1 inch, but this 1 inch is going to be for sewing allowance. At the waistline, I'm going to divide actual waist by 4, measure in between my darts, replace it, and then add 1 inch for sewing allowance. At the hip line, do the same thing, divide hip by 4, measure in between that, replace it and also add 1 inch, and then whatever I have for the hip, I'm also going to mark at the full length area. Now I'm using 1 inch. You can go ahead to use more than 1 inch if you want. Now guys, I'm going to connect these points together with my rule, just like you can see me doing, and I'm going to be highlighting these points, so do pay attention. With that done guys, I went to the bottom of my pattern paper and came up by about 1.5 inches. So this depends on what you want. Now once I've come up by this inch, I then went out by half an inch. So this just give it that little exaggerated effect. And can you see the way I'm going to connect this back to the hip region, and I'm also going to connect a slant curve up to this point, and then this other. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to capture this well, but from the neck region I made an extension like this, and then from the waistline just decided to come down by 1.5. so you can come down by whatever you want with your choice. So now after marking it, I'm going to connect this all the way to the zipper allowance line, and I'm going to use my straight tool like this and connect it all the way downwards. But guys, I'll advise that I don't actually go as wide as 3.5 inches for the dart. You can choose to go smaller, like 3 inches or 5 inches, though this depends on what you want. So let's go ahead to cut this out. Having cut everything out, this is what I've been looking like. So I'll just go ahead to label this. So please write center front and center and side front. What I wrote there was center back and side back. So this is also my zipper. For the back, I've drafted my basic body. So this is shoulder, chest line, waist, hip, and also full length. I have my armhole here ready. Now the next I'm going to do is to create the neckline. Came in by 3 inches for the width, and then for the depth I came down by 1.5. I'll just connect it. Now you notice that there's no space for zipper allowance because the zipper is in front, and I'll just connect the shoulder slope this way. So guys, honestly, initially I do not like taking that. I do not like marking that or sewing that. But taking that, I have learned from this the making of this blouse is very, very important and necessary to give you that snatched look. So initially I just stylishly came like for my waist, like the middle of the waist, I came in by 0.75 inches. But later on, I took that on fabric, even though I did not add any dart allowance. So I advise that you take your normal darts at this point. So don't actually do what I'm doing here. Just take your normal dart where we normally take it for the back. So guys, in addition to this middle dart that I've just taken, I'm going to be replacing it at the other side. So I'll measure my actual waist, come in by what I have here, 0.75, and then add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Also did the same thing for the hip region and also for the full length. I'll also measure in between what I have at this point of the chest line and replace it here before connecting everything together as seen. At this point, you want to bring your pattern paper so that this little exaggerated effect that we have here, we're able to transfer it to that for the back. So just go ahead to trace it. And now in this case, I just want my back to be flat and I will just be running a straight line at this point. So that'll be all for the back, and I'll just go ahead to cut this all out. With that guys, we are done drafting on our patterns. I'll just correct it, writing center front and side front. Let's go ahead to cut this all out on fabric. Due to my small size, I was able to get away with 2 yards of fabric, but if you are on a bigger side, do make sure to have 3 yards readily available. So guys, I gave half an inch everywhere, both to the down, the sides, the bust area itself, and also did the same thing for the middle piece. But for the zipper allowance line, I did not give any half inch to that point because that 1.5 inch that we left for zipper area already covers the sewing allowance. So guys, I'll just take up my pattern paper and we're going to join this. Make sure that you notch the under bust area because it's from that point that we're going to trace it all the way to the bottom, and then you pin it all the way to the bottom, and then you sew it half an inch towards the upper area. So I'll just go ahead to demonstrate that here. Right here, let's work on the back. So I have given half an inch to all these regions here, and what I'm going to do first of all is to sew these middle points, making it to become one piece. At this point, you can add your darts separately to the front piece and the lining. Having closed up the back region, I also opened it and ironed it flat. Now guys, this is for the front. As you can see, I've joined them and I've also notched important areas using my tailor's hand to iron open the princess seam, and this is what I have. So I'm just going to place them right sides facing each other and sew my shoulders. I'll also repeat the same thing for the lining. Having joined the both shoulders, this is what I have. I'll also go ahead to align the side measurement together and then just shape it to the 1 inch that I gave it. Now if you want your waist to be like more snatched, you can actually shape it inwards more, which I did. Now the next I'm going to do is that before I even shape it, I'm going to add my dart. Okay, remember that I did not even add allowance for that, but when I put this on my body, the shape wasn't really giving me what I want, so I added my dart at this point separately from that of the lining. Should in case you don't know how to add your dart, I will be demonstrating it here. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead to just chalk it, so I'll be explaining what I did. So you have to get your half length first of all, then you will draw a vertical line like this, and for this you'll be surprised I subtracted the 0.75 inches that came out by that time, and then I just measured 3.5 inches, marked it, and on the both sides measured half an inch to give me 1 inch at this point here. So for the length of my dart, I simply is simply going to stop at my breast point measurement. That is from my shoulder to my nipple for the front. So that measurement is what I took here. And then for the length of the dart at the bottom, I came down by 4 inches. Although I later extended these 4 inches all the way to the bottom. But as I approach the bottom line, I decrease this so that it's going to give it a nice fit. So guys, this is my piece, and as you can see, I've gone ahead to shape it. And you can also go ahead to make little notches around the curvy area of the waist. Now guys, at the shoulder also, I just proceeded to trim it off. You can also do the same thing for the lining too. And when you are trimming off, go ahead to make sure that you have your edges to be interlocked so that it doesn't lose. Opening up the bottom area this way, I'm going to place the lining right sides facing each other. And the first thing I'm going to do is to join the hems together. Now I can go ahead to pin this and then you sew it with 1/2 inch. So guys, while joining the both of them, I also sewed it with hemming gum. But I'll advise that your hemming gum, you divide it into two rather than working it with that 1 inch. So guys, all through to I'm going to just join it exactly the same way. I'm going to join the lining and the Ankara fabric and using hemming gum to stitch as I sew. Having run my stitch all through, this is what I have it looking like. Now next thing I want to do is to notch all important areas and then trim off the excess. After notching and trimming guys, I'll go ahead to use the armhole to turn everything to the right side and then make use my scissors to bring out the corner edges of it. So guys, now once you have everything out, just go ahead to give it a very good press. Having ironed everything out, this is what I have it looking like. Now the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to attach my zipper, and once attaching the zipper, it's from the bottom all the way to the top because we need this to open and close so as to enable us to wear this blouse. So guys, having attached my zip, this is what I have it looking like, very neat and nice. Now the next one we're going to work on is on the sleeve, and for this I'm going to measure my armhole and I'm just going to use that to cut out the sleeve. So guys, right here is the sleeve that I've cut out, and you can see the armhole. You can see where I slanted it in was a bit around the elbow region to just give it this little detail. And also the hem, I came up by 1.5 inches from one of the sides in order to create this slant. Now guys, the first thing I'm going to do is to use my bias and just pipe this edge right here, and after piping I'll go ahead to join them together. This is my sleeves guys. I've ironed it very well and it's looking really good. I'll just go ahead to join it to that of the armhole and then proceed to weave it. And with that guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. If you found it helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, comment and also subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching this far, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.